There is a painful truth that a lot of people who have been working for years still do not want to admit. You are not broke because you earn too little. You are broke because money has never had the chance to stay with you long enough. Does that sound like you? Every month you go to work, deal with the pressure, come home exhausted, and tell yourself that this is the month you are finally going to save more. Some months, your bank account even looks a little better, but somehow, the money still slips away. A few meals out, a little treat for yourself, one moment of saying, "It is fine, I will save more next month." And before you know it, you are almost right back where you started. It is not exactly a crisis, but it is not progress either. Most people think the problem is their paycheck. They believe that once they earn more, everything will take care of itself. But the truth is, plenty of people make more money year after year while their bank account barely changes. Because what holds them back is not just low income. It is the small money mistakes, repeated long enough, that quietly wear down an entire financial future. The scariest part is not that you spent $10 or $15 today. The scariest part is that you are training yourself to live in a way where money always comes and goes, but peace of mind never arrives. And if you have ever told yourself, maybe this just is not the time for me to start saving seriously yet, then this is for you. Because sometimes the thing standing between you and your first $5,000 is not your situation. It is the mindset you have been carrying for far too long. The first mistake that keeps so many people from ever reaching that first real savings milestone is simple. The moment their income goes up, their lifestyle rises even faster. Most people assume that when their salary goes up, saving money should automatically get easier. But the truth is, making more does not make you wealthier if you immediately upgrade the way you live. A new phone because now you deserve something better. More meals out because you work hard, so why not enjoy it? A nicer place, a better car, spending decisions that all seem reasonable on their own, but together they eat up the extra money that should have been turning into something real. If you pay attention, you will notice there are people who have been working for 3 years, 5 years, even 7 years, and their income is no longer low, but their account still only looks good for the first few days of the month. Meanwhile, someone else might not make dramatically more, but they still hit those early milestones simply because they learned one thing sooner. Building wealth does not start with how much you earn. It starts with how much you keep. Think about it like this. A higher income is like water flowing faster into a tank. But if you open every drain wider at the same time, the water level barely rises. The problem is not how much is coming in. The problem is that your tank has never really been sealed. The most dangerous trap is the one that says, "I have worked hard, so I deserve to live better." It sounds reasonable. It even sounds fair. But if every raise comes with a more expensive lifestyle, then you end up working harder and harder just to support a pricier version of yourself. You get busier, more stressed, and spend more, but you do not get any closer to financial freedom. You are not falling behind because you earn too little. You are falling behind because every time you make more, you quietly teach yourself that you need more just to feel okay. And when the definition of enough keeps moving farther away, that first $5,000 milestone will always feel close enough to see, but never close enough to reach. The second mistake sounds so small that most people ignore it, treating little expenses like they do not matter. One coffee, one food delivery order, one thing you buy because it is on sale, one quick payment because it is only a couple of dollars. Each one by itself really does seem harmless. The problem is, money does not usually disappear in some dramatic way. It leaves quietly, logically, and repeatedly, until the pattern feels so normal that you barely notice it anymore. Most people think only big decisions can wreck their finances. But the truth is, a lot of people never reach that first milestone because their future leaks out through hundreds of tiny holes. $5 a day does not sound scary, but $150 a month and $1,800 a year is not small anymore. That is already a huge chunk of the milestone you keep telling yourself is still out of reach. What makes those expenses dangerous is that they usually do not buy lasting value. They buy a quick moment of comfort, and then the next day the cycle starts all over again. The biggest cost is not just the money itself. The biggest cost is getting used to spending without thinking. Eventually, you are not short on money because of one major emergency. You are short on money because every single day, something small keeps pulling you farther away from where you want to be. The third mistake is even more dangerous because it does not hurt right away. It is the belief that you still have plenty of time, so you do not need to get serious about money yet. Most people do not say it that directly. They dress it up in softer versions. I will deal with it next month. I will start when my salary goes up. I will do it when work feels more stable. I will save when I finally have some extra money. But the truth is, the longer you wait, the farther you push that first milestone away. Not because the goal is growing, but because your habit of delay is growing. That is what makes financial procrastination so dangerous. It is quiet. It does not hit you with some dramatic wake-up call. It just steals month after month, year after year, one small chance to save after another.
We were built for
It is like
this
standing
moment.
on a train platform,
They thought
watching
they could
one train
control
leave,
us,
and telling yourself the
time
next
for
one will be
silence
fine.
is over.
But what you do not realize is that every train you let go creates more distance you will have to make up later. The biggest cost is not the money you failed to save today. The biggest cost is that you are teaching your brain to get comfortable postponing what matters. And once that becomes normal, you will not just delay saving. You will delay investing. You will delay learning new skills. You will delay the very opportunities that could change your life. While you are waiting for the perfect time, time is not waiting for you. It keeps moving, quietly making everything more expensive. The fourth mistake is something a lot of people do, but almost never call by its real name: using money to manage emotions. After a brutal day at work, you treat yourself to a more expensive meal. After a stressful week, you order something because you feel like you deserve it. During a rough stretch, you spend money just to make life feel a little lighter. All of that sounds normal, and honestly, it is normal. Almost everyone has done it. But the problem is, once money starts doing the job of soothing your emotions, it becomes very hard to hold on to it. Most people think they spend because of need. But the truth is, a lot of spending does not come from need at all. It comes from exhaustion, stress, emptiness, or the feeling that you need some kind of reward just to keep going. At that point, money stops being a tool for building your future. It becomes pain relief for the present. The dangerous part is that the comfort shopping gives you usually does not last long. It comes fast, and it fades fast. And when it is over, the pressure is still there, but now your account is lighter too. So not only did you fail to solve the real problem, you also slowed down your financial progress. The biggest cost is not the thing you bought. The biggest cost is that you start believing that whenever you are tired, you should spend. Whenever you are sad, you should buy something. Whenever you are stressed, you should reward yourself. Once that loop takes hold, that first $5,000 milestone gets taken by emotion long before it ever becomes the foundation of your future. The fifth mistake is this: you do not have a system for keeping money, so every month you are forced to rely on willpower. That is why so many people start the month feeling motivated, hit the middle of the month feeling shaky, and end the month blaming themselves. They think the problem is a lack of discipline. But the truth is, willpower only lasts for so long, and money is a game that repeats every single month. If every month you have to keep telling yourself, stop spending, stay focused, do better, sooner or later you are going to wear yourself out. And when people get worn out, they always drift back to the easiest choice. Most people think managing money is all about trying harder. But the truth is, money only stays when you build a system strong enough to hold on to it. If your paycheck lands in the same account as your everyday spending money, if your savings sit right next to the money you use for random purchases, and if every decision has to be made while your emotions are all over the place, then you are making the game much harder than it needs to be. Think of it like this: trying to hold on to money with willpower is like trying to stop water with your bare hands. At first, maybe you can manage it, but the longer it goes on, the more water slips through your fingers. A system works differently. The moment you get paid, you split the money up. One part goes to fixed expenses. One part goes to an emergency fund. One part goes to long-term savings. At that point, you do not have to fight yourself every day, because the money that matters most has already been moved out of the danger zone. You do not have to become a perfect person to keep money. You just need a setup that makes it harder to make bad money decisions. Because in the end, the people who reach that first milestone are not always the most disciplined. A lot of the time, they are simply the ones who built a smarter system. And this is where everything really starts to shift. That first $5,000 was never just a number. Most people look at it like a financial goal, a pile of money, a milestone that makes them feel a little less vulnerable. But the truth is, the greatest value of that first $5,000 is not just the number sitting in your account. The real value is who you have to become in order to reach it. You cannot reach that milestone if you keep living like almost everything you earn is meant to be spent. You cannot get there if your money keeps carrying your emotions, your procrastination, and your impulsive choices. In other words, that first milestone is not a reward for the person who earns the most. It is usually a reward for the person who finally learns how to stop betraying their own future. Think of it like the first foundation brick of a house. That brick is not the whole house. It is not wealth by itself. But without that first brick, there is no second floor, and there is definitely no roof over your head. That first milestone works the same way. It does not transform your life overnight, but it is the first time your financial life is finally standing on something solid, instead of floating from paycheck to paycheck. That is when you realize what you have really built is not just money, it is maturity. It is the ability to protect yourself when life gets unpredictable. It is the feeling that you finally have something solid beneath you, something you can actually build on. In the end, the reason so many people never reach that first milestone is not that they are lazy or incapable. It is not even that they do not try. It is that they have spent too long living in a rhythm that feels normal, earning money to deal with today while keeping nothing for tomorrow. And that is the part that should scare you most. Not the low balance in your account, but the feeling that you are doing so much, yet your financial life is still standing still. You are still busy, still tired, still hopeful, but month after month, the distance between you and peace of mind barely changes. That first $5,000 is not a number to brag about. It is the milestone that proves something has changed. It proves that from this point on, you are no longer letting emotion control your wallet, no longer letting procrastination make decisions about your future, and no longer living with the mindset of, I will figure it out next month. You do not need to wait until you have extra money before you start holding on to it. The truth is, you have to start holding on to money first. That is how you eventually create the day when you finally do have extra. So after this video, do not just nod and move on. Be honest with yourself and ask, which mistake is quietly keeping me stuck? And if you had to change one thing starting this month, where would you begin?